Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Lisa and I work here at Sigma. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about creative apparel decoration. Maybe you are working on an apparel project and you want to take it to that next level, but maybe you're not exactly sure how you might want to do that. Well, I'm going to share some cool creative decoration techniques that we can use. So before we dive into the creative decoration techniques, I wanted to talk a little bit about why you're actually doing the apparel, because when we are doing apparel, there's usually the purpose behind the piece is one of two reasons. So the first one might be you're giving someone an apparel piece because you want that person to value, say it's a sweater. You want that person to value your brand, value your organization, and value that piece. The brand is really creating an impact on that recipient. So that's one reason why you might be doing apparel. The other reason you might be doing apparel is because you actually want the impact of that piece and your brand to impact the people around the wearer. So it might not actually necessarily be so much for the person wearing the piece, but so that other people around the wearer can identify that person. So if you're at maybe like a trade show and you want your team member to be easily identified, or you're working at like an event, a fundraising event, and you want your staff to be, visible to other people so they can be easily identified, that could be another reason why you're choosing to do apparel. So that's kind of more of like an external view and value of the brand. So we're kind of talking about internal, where the person receiving the garment is valuing the piece, or does the value your brand bring come for the people around the wearer? So something to think about when we are talking about these different decoration techniques. So the first one I wanted to talk about is embroidery. So embroidery is for sure the most common, I would say, decoration technique that we do use for our clients. And I love embroidery. It's great. It's a really classic look. It lasts for years and years and years and years. But I wanted to highlight a couple of different kind of takes on embroidery. So of course we have our classic embroidery, which is, threads that are sewn into the garment. Your logo is basically sewn into the garment. And it's a great classic look. We can do usually multiple colors. And that's a classic. We can do tone on tone as well, because the threads are, inherently above the garment. It makes a really cool tone on tone look. So you're still able to obviously see that there's a logo there, but it's much more subtle. Something I would consider for those pieces where you're giving it to someone and they really want to value the piece and they're going to want to wear it because, it's nothing's too loud. A tone on tone can be super clean and classy, and I love that. I'll talk more about other decoration techniques with tone on tone as well, but embroidery is totally a great place to try that if it's something you're open to. 3D puff embroidery, I love this look as well. This is going to be a more pronounced version of your logo on the garment. So it's basically a little bit more raised up above. You can see in this image here on top of the piece. So really popular for headwear pieces, but you can do it on jackets, hoodies, sweaters, polos, whatever you're looking to do. And it just creates that deeper three-dimensional look. That's really cool. I would recommend this for more of like a simpler logo, like if it's just like text or lettering or things like that, or like a simple icon can turn out really well in 3D puff embroidery. And then metallic embroidery. So of course we are using threads to embroider your garments, and the threads that we choose, we can actually use metallic. So, gold, silver, rose gold, super cool. Like a bronze color. This could be really cool if you're doing kind of like a celebration or like a milestone, anniversaries, where there's kind of like this like special thing taking place that you want to commemorate in a little bit more of like a fun, rewarding way. Metallic threads can really kind of elevate that embroidery to the next level. And if you already have been embroidering your logo, for a long time, you already have the files. It's just simple enough for us to just, instead of embroidering in your colors, we just switch it over to a metallic thread. So something really cool to consider. Okay, so lasering on garments. So this is a decoration technique where you guessed it, we're essentially taking a laser to laser in your logo on the garment. So this works really well for performance materials and fleece. So things like, we've got a fleece full zip here, or a pullover, or even performance polos, like they turn out really nice there. Now, again, we're going to be having like a tone on tone kind of a look here, because we are actually taking the laser and, essentially burning the logo into the garment when we're lasering apparel. It's important to keep in mind that the color will always be a few shades darker than the actual garment. So we couldn't do like a laser engraving in white, for example. It would always be a couple of shades darker tone than the piece itself. So a great way to achieve a really true kind of tone on tone look, or if you're looking for just a couple of shades darker. The other reason why I love lasering is you can do a really large area for the same run charge as just like a left chest. So we just talked about embroidery. For example, I don't typically recommend doing an embroidery over, kind of a 4x4 area. If you want something really large, I would recommend lasering, because like we can see in this sweater in the front here, we've got that full front. It's super clean. The other great benefit for lasering is it goes across seams. So the zipper seam here flawlessly, so your logo is going to look great. Where other decoration techniques, transfer, screen prints, things like that, don't necessarily aren't as conducive to going across a seam. So that's another thing. If you have a full zip, you want the full logo across, lasering is a great option. So another kind of different decoration technique that we can incorporate there. Okay, debossing. So this is a decoration technique that is often seen in like the kind of the stationery world. So we do this a lot on like journals, any kind of like leather goods. So like luggage tags, things like that, where we are essentially creating a metal die of your logo and we're pressing it into the piece. So while we do it on some of those hard goods, we can also do that on some apparel pieces as well. So this is, I would say, because when we're looking at lasering, we're kind of burning the garment. The deboss, we're really just pressing the logo into the garment. So this is going to be your closest true tone on tone look. It looks so clean and classy. If you're looking for that really subtle, you want it to be branded, but you want it to just be, really clean, classy, true tone on tone look, a deboss is absolutely where you want to go for that. We can get really fine details in there as well. If you've got a detailed logo that you want to get some of those, little bits, make sure that they turn out really well. Deboss does that really, really well, as you can kind of see on this example on the left-hand side here. So again, I'm a huge fan of tone on tone. So obviously this is a great option. Again, maybe for one of those pieces where you're going to give it to someone and you want them to be able to wear it and the brand is having an impact on them internally. So custom patches and labels, I'm a sucker for a printed or a laser engraved leather patch, which I've shown on the left-hand side here. It gives the piece a really kind of extra custom feel, really pulling on those retail trends. It gives it a really cool, clean look, especially like on this piece here. It just goes really well. Kind of having that tone on tone again when we're doing like a laser on the patch and then sewing it on. It just really looks super clean and classy. And I love that as a decoration technique. We can do it in multiple locations. I'll talk about locations in a little bit as well. So an engraved or printed leather patch or like fake leather patch. Those are really great. In the middle here, we've got sublimated patches. So this I could see being a really great option if you have a full color logo and you have a lot of detail in your logo. So maybe something where the details get lost in embroidery, or you've got lots of fine little details, and you want that full color. You still kind of want to have an embroidery feel, but you maybe can't do embroidery for whatever reason. A sublimated patch gives you the best of both worlds. So the logo is sublimated on the patch, and then the patch is then adhered to the garment, whether that's heat applied or sewn on. We can do this on, it's very popular on caps, on headwear, but also, you know, things like jackets, hoodies, anything like that. Sublimated patches are great. And then last, just on the right-hand side here, we have a woven label. We just done this one just on the little like cuff of the sleeve, giving it a really cool custom feel. The minimum orders are not high on this, but it makes it look like you completely launched like a whole line of apparel, when really it just, at the end of the day, we're just creating these woven patches and sewing them on the side seams. So this is a great opportunity if you know, you do want to have your logo on there, have it maybe be a little bit more subtle, or if you have like kind of a main thing going on, but you want something else, like maybe a little small off to the side, woven labels, super clean, super classy. Love a woven label. Okay, so HXD and three-dimensional decorations. So this is a relatively new technology, but something that we've seen really grow in the last, I would say 5 years. So this is a method where we're essentially taking your logo from 2 dimensions and creating a 3-dimensional version of it. And then that kind of piece is then adhered onto the garment. So I have a couple of examples here. It's almost like a mix of like a plasticky silicone feel. And it's just kind of this like, it looks really custom, it looks really cool, it feels really great. It kind of elevates that logo to the next level. We have like such a range of ways in which we can make this look. So we kind of have a classic look on the left here with the AC logo that's adhered to the garment. We have like, we can go super loud with like those metallic colors, the shine, like the background textures in the middle here with the East block. So something that could be like, you know, again, maybe like a special event, or you're like celebrating something, and you really want that to be like visible and in your face. This is a great method. But then also on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, if you wanted to do a tone on tone, but you're like, no, I'm not loving like the deboss laser embroidery, like give me something new. This is it. Like HXD in a tone on tone looks so cool and clean. The Audio City is probably my favorite example here of the HXD, just because it shows you how your logo can come alive on a garment. Even though it's still tone on tone, it really brings it forward. You can still see it, but it's still so classy. And also, you know, picking up on retail trends with that tone on tone and that 3-dimensional piece. So HXD, really cool, really creative 3-dimensional version of your logo. Okay, so moving right along to sublimation. Sublimation has come a far way. We can incorporate so many different styles while having this sublimation decoration technique. So obviously we've got things like baseball jackets, Hawaiian shirts, tank tops. We do have t-shirts as well. We have different types of feels and fits of the fabric for the apparel that we can sublimate. And I love sublimation because even though the examples I've chosen to show here are like pretty loud, these would be great pieces for, you know, you want your team to be identified in like an event or something like that. They can also be, sublimation can also be really valuable for if you're just looking for like a very specific color piece that you're not able to find like a stock piece in your specific blue, for example. Well, if you let us know that you're looking for that specific Pantone color, we can sublimate the whole piece in that blue and just have your logo like wherever you want it on the you know, the chest, the sleeve, wherever. So a great option to consider if you are looking for a specific color, or you want to get cool and custom and creative like some of these designs here. You want to incorporate multiple colors. You want to incorporate your logo. Maybe you're doing an event where you have lots of full color sponsor logos and you got to include them like on the back. This is a great option. I love this Hawaiian shirt. It's like my favorite. And yeah, it's just, sublimation has come a far way. So don't shy away from it. If you're like, oh yeah, I want to do something cool and creative, but you don't know where to start, that's what we're here for. So reach out to us and like, we'll totally get some cool, wicked storyboards together for you. And then custom hats. So I know we touched on headwear like a little bit with some of the other decoration techniques, but I thought I would mention it here as well. So we can actually build hats from scratch. So everything from custom Pantone matching the blue on the snapback of this hat example, to, having the inside seams taped with a screen printed, message or core values, whatever you might want to have. Custom color on the underside of the bill. The front panel piece can be custom sublimated. So really just like there are so many opportunities to do custom caps and to go, overseas and build the cap from scratch to make it look like such a cool custom piece. And we don't have to order thousands and thousands of hats either. So if there's if you have the timeline and there's like a specific project you're working on, reach out to us and let us know. I wanted to share this example too with you, because what we've done here is the underside of the bill, we actually sublimated that with a pattern, this like wilderness pattern. So like, what a cool idea, if you are using hats for either what, if it's for staff or you're using for a giveaway, that's a great like advertising space there, right? Like you want to make sure you're utilizing every part of the hat. So a great opportunity there. Of course, the taping on the inside, I love. Pantone matching, custom press, embroidery. Really, your imagination is the limit. And if you want us to do the imagining for you, we got you. Okay, so I just had to mention these. So I know I talked about sublimation for, mostly wearables or for traditional apparel pieces. I wanted to share, we can do custom bucket hats as well. Bucket hats are back in a big way, baby. And we love a good bucket hat over here at Sigma. And these are custom sublimated bucket hats. So again, a great opportunity if you have a lot of sponsors, you've got full color patterns, maybe you've got like a specific icon that you use in your organization that you want to do like a step and repeat pattern for. Custom bucket hats can be a really cool way to get creative while also giving something out that people are going to totally want to keep and wear. And then lastly, I just wanted to touch on location. So of course, the main thing I wanted to talk about was some maybe different, unique, creative decoration techniques, but also where we're actually putting your logo is important. So even if you're just doing like a t-shirt or, a long sleeve, a polo, maybe there's a way that we can get creative with the location. So we have so many different locations. We can even just screen print your logo. I love, kind of up the side or down the sleeve, the back bottom. There's so many cool creative ways to just use the location of the piece and where you're going to put your logo. Location, not just for real estate folks, also for your logo. So a couple of examples here. I love, up the side of the zipper, if you've got like a full zip jacket or something like that, that looks super cool. The example on the far right here, I love this. So we've actually combined two decoration techniques that's shown here. So we did lasering up the side and then embroidery of the logo on top of that. And then a transfer down the sleeve. So just some different decoration techniques. The back yoke is a great opportunity to add some branding. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you found some cool new nuggets that you might be able to think about for your next apparel project. Of course, we are always here and happy to guide you every step of the way. You can always check us out, sigmapromotions.com, or follow us at Sigma Promotions on Instagram. Thank you again for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great day.